Let me get my character sheet up. Got it.
Alright. So, yep, we're doing more Vampire the Masquerade stuff. You're okay if I record this, right?
Go ahead.
Okay. That's what I was already doing, but I would delete it if you didn't want it. But that's good. Good. Okay. So, to start off, you are going to start as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And the campaign is going to take place in 2017. So, we're starting in 2010, like you said. So, we're going to start your day off, which is what we did with everybody else. So, you said that you were interested in having, like, a concert or something? So...
Yeah, like something she could, like, go to and maybe be, like, walking home or something, and they, like, grab her and do it, or whatever.
Okay, I can work with that. I have a vague idea of what I wanted, so, that works perfectly into what I was trying to do. Okay. So, it's the beginning of the day. You're getting ready to do whatever it is that you do during a regular day. What is it that you're going to do?
I'm gonna get up, get dressed, my bed, and do the normal routine stuff, and get ready to head out the door for work.
Alright. Shower, brush teeth, all those nice things.
Yeah.
Okay. So those things happen. We don't have to roleplay every second of that. So, just saying. So, we skip to, you do a regular day, you have breakfast, you leave. So, your character's going to go to work before the concert. Cool. What work does your character do?
She works at a newspaper. She is one of the writers, a journalist.
Okay.
One of the head actual journalists. So
That works. Okay, so you arrive at work, at the newspaper. Let's see. So for this one, we're just gonna, I hope you don't care what the name of it is, but it's gonna be the, Chronicle Herald.
okay, that's fine.
Okay. And, it's a newspaper.
Yeah.
So, you write what in particular? What type of articles or whatnot?
She writes more advice columns.
Okay,
She's better with advice, giving advice, than she is receiving and taking her own advice.
Fair enough. Okay, so you have like a Dear Gabby or whatever column.
Yeah, sorta.
Okay.
Except it's Dear Renee.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Okay, yeah. So people write in, whether it's by email. It's 2010, so yeah, email works. Because some of the other people were doing starting at 2002 and stuff. So I was getting confused on what actually existed at the time. But that's okay. So yeah, email exists, so they can email you. Although you do get some handwritten letters. Or printed off letters. So, either way, you arrive into work. You have a large pile of received mail, although some of it is not applicable to what you are trying to do, like fan mail, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it is actually what you're looking for. So you look through it, you're sorting through the mail. You're also looking at your email when you get tired of looking at physical mail. So you spend a couple hours looking through, and you find something. Okay, we'll start with this first. Okay, so you find something, pertaining to your job. Instead of just fan mail or weird death threats or whatever it is that people send these days.
Yes.
So you look through that, you're like, nope, 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 and then you finally found one that was useful, towards your, pertaining to your job, at least. Seems like some sort of teenage girl who's going through a terrible breakup, but, the problem is that he keeps saying that, he wants her back, and then when she actually comes to visit him, he'll just, like, treat her awfully. And she doesn't know what to do.
Okay. Do you want me to, like, roleplay, like, what I would say?
Yeah, sure. That'll work.
Okay. I'm going to write back, obviously, in my column, and I am going to say, just forget the dude. Obviously, he is treating you bad, and honestly, that is abuse, and so you should just find a way out, is what I'm trying to say. And
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in her letter, she was just saying that she seems to fall for it every time just because she likes him so much.
Okay.
If that helps you fuel your mindset and what to say.
Okay. So, if she likes him that much, then I don't think that she should be with him because of the abuse. And I think she should just forget him and try to move on, try to find somebody better. So, yeah.
Okay. So the plenty of fish in the sea advice. Cool.
Yes.
Alright. It's slightly generic, but it's one of your better responses lately, because it's just been garbage that people have been sending you. So you do a decent job, you do a decent write-up. So you keep looking through the weird garbage mail, although some of it you do keep, because like you like reading fan mail every once in a while. So it's just that it's not helping you do your job right now. So you sift through it, and then eventually you come upon this weird envelope. It's yellowed with, maybe it's super old. It's kind of yellow with, as if it's been, like, exposed to, like, sunlight, or as if it's been, like, in a closet for a long time and rotted slightly, so it's got this weird yellow tinge to it. So you pick it up, and you look at it, and it has an original date on it, although it's crossed out, but you can still read it. It's dated 1961, and then it was crossed out, and then it just has, you're not sure why it was dated out, like, on the envelope, but it was, and then it just has the address for the newspaper for your column and whatnot, and then it doesn't have a return address.
Okay.
So you can choose what you want to do with that.
Okay, I'm going to take it, and I want to read it.
Okay.
And I want to see if, like, obviously what it says, but I want to, like, see what, like, I don't know how to say it. Do you, like, can I ask what it says?
Okay, that's fine. You can read the thing. So you open the envelope.
Yes.
You pull out the letter, and the letter is on more recent and clean paper, and it's very short, large letters, super large font, although it's written in like pen, so it's like huge lettering. It says simply, "I have my eye on you."
Okay.
That's all it says.
That's all it says.
Yep.
Does it say, like, my name specifically?
It's addressed to you on the envelope.
Does it like
the words that are written inside don't seem to indicate anything.
Okay, the ones inside, nothing.
Yeah, it just says I have my eye on you. That's it.
That's it. I'm going to pick up my phone, my cell phone.
Okay.
At the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to call, and I'm going to try to see if my friend knows anything about it, like one of my best friends.
Okay.
Can I name her, like, Kelsey or whatever?
Sure, that's fine.
See if she knows anything about people stalking me, or see if she knows anything, and if not, I want to call the police.
Okay, that works. So you call her up, and she appears to be on a busy street, because there's, like, honking horns and, like, bus sounds of buses passing by and things of that nature. So, you get that information just from her picking up. She doesn't answer for, like, a couple seconds. Maybe she picked up and was, like, moving or something, and she couldn't, like, get it to her ear in time. But she does eventually answer. She goes, hello?
Hey, Kels, it's me. Can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure. What do you need?
Well, I just got a letter, and it looks like it's a really old one. Do you know anything about anybody from 1961 trying to stalk the Herald, the dispatch? Because she works at, like, a police investigation crew or whatever.
Okay, sure. This is the prologue part, so yeah, you can pull characters out. That's fine. Okay. So, she goes, 1961, are you sure it didn't just get lost in the mail?
Well, the paper looks really recent, but the envelope is dated 1961, and it looks like it's been just thrown in the back of the closet and yellowed up, you know how paper does.
Yeah, you know what? I might stop by just to see what's going on.
Awesome. See you in a bit.
All right. She hangs up, and she comes over. She looks like she was getting ready for a slightly more formal event. But she has like a big coat on. It's slightly chilly outside. Today, and in that day. So yeah. she comes forward, and she just sort of, like, enters into your office, no problem, and just comes over and sits down. So, where's the paper?
I'm gonna hand her the paper without saying anything, and I'm gonna give her the look like, help.
Okay. Fair enough. She looks at it. She looks at the envelope. Well, you know, if I bring this back to the station, I might be able to have someone analyze this. I actually have someone who owes me a favor, and, well, this is kind of creepy. Usually they... And she just looks at, like, another death threat that you have sitting on there. It doesn't look very credible or anything. It just looks like some kid trying to get his jollies off, sending weird mail. And, she goes, yeah, we've looked into some of these other ones before. It seems like you have some repeat offenders there. And she just looks at one of the letters that's on your desk. And she goes, this is weird. You know what? I'm gonna use that favor. I'm gonna get this examined.
Do you think you can have it fingerprinted, too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Alright. Thank you, Kels. Love you.
She takes it and she nods. That's what I'm here for. as she just closes the door behind her on her way out.
Alright.
So, yeah, she leaves. You continue the rest of your day. So you get 2 more decent examples, nothing outstanding. Just people asking for generic advice, and you give it.
Alright.
So it's about, we'll say 5 o'clock, 5 p.m.
Okay.
And you're like, yeah, I'm done. I can't look through any more of this stuff.
Okay.
Even though you still have like 5,000 emails left. Although it looks like some people have recently got a hold of your email and signed up for like porn sites and stuff. Not very helpful, but so yeah, you still have 5,000 emails left. Most of it's probably garbage, but
okay.
So, yeah, because you have your email like posted publicly, so you know how weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you exit. You exit the. Unless if you had anything else you wanted to do at the newspaper place, you could submit your column.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That was obvious.
Okay. Fair enough. You submit your column. Your boss seems slightly distracted, but otherwise he's just like, yeah, looks good, and then you just leave.
Okay.
Yeah, he just sort of glanced at it for a second and was like, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Although you have an idea that he probably isn't that interested in your work anyway. Just his personal preference, but either way. So, you leave, and you have about 2 hours before the concert starts, and you have it's going to take you about 10 minutes to get to your apartment to get ready, and then about a half hour to get to the venue. So you don't have much time.
Okay. I'm going to go home and obviously get ready, because out of that work uniform, I'm going to put on like a t-shirt that has the band info on it. Well, the band name and a picture of the band.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to put on like a blue jean mini skirt like from the 90s. She's going to be like, how old would you like her to be? Like, how old?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as she's above the legal limit if you want to be, like, promiscuous at all.
Okay, so 2000. Let me do some math. Okay, 1990. Okay, so she's 20.
Okay, that works. Yeah, because if you're going to be promiscuous at all, it would be awkward if you were in the body of, like, a tiny 6-year-old or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But obviously you have a job, so she's above the legal limit anyway.
Well, I was hoping she'd have, like, her associates, and because it takes 2 years to get your associates, so.
Yeah, that works. It's
okay.
So, like, the other guys are just, like, random ages, whatever they chose.
Okay.
So it doesn't ultimately matter. It doesn't really affect your vampire powers, unless if you're, like 110 years old. That might affect your ability to walk around and stuff. But otherwise, you're fine. So, okay. So, you head to the venue. It's a half hour away, but it's mostly because of traffic, and other such, like, pedestrians, and like you have to wait at the crosswalk when the things turn, and it's a mess. It's always been a mess in the city.
Right.
So, I'm just trying to help you get into the mindset of how your character might be feeling as you arrive. Mm-hmm. It's been heavy.
What city are we in?
I haven't chosen a specific one. Okay. I know where the campaign is going to be taking place, if that will help.
Do you want me to choose, or do you, like, for my character?
Yeah, you can choose for your character. You can choose.
I was hoping, like, New York City, Broadway, like, in there.
That works. That works.
Okay.
Yeah, because I actually have a lot to pull from then. Because there's the vampire game Courtiers of New York. I don't know if you played that one.
I don't. I play more Neverwinter and Sims.
Yeah, this one is more this game I'm talking about is more of a visual novel, so
okay,
it might be interesting to you.
Okay, just message it to me. Okay, message it to me. I might play it.
Okay, I'll give you like a link or something.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, it's relatively simple to play. It doesn't require like in-depth like strategy or movements or anything. It's just a thing where you choose like text options and it tells you what you say and stuff. That's all it is.
Alright.
So, yeah, it's not like a huge commitment I would be asking you to undertake.
Right.
So, okay. So, yes. Oh, wait, I forgot to do something. Give me...
You're fine.
5 seconds. I need to remind myself to keep doing this. As you can see on the Roll20, it changed my picture. That's all I wanted.
I saw it.
That's all I wanted. He's one of the characters from that game, actually. So,
okay.
yeah. So, yeah, so I actually have a lot of stuff I can pull from if you're from New York. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
So, yes, you arrive at the venue. It's not the biggest venue, perhaps. I'm going to take the liberty in saying that, because this is technically an alternate universe, so it doesn't matter which one you choose. But the band that you've been following has fallen on hard times, and it's a relatively seedy part of town. It's a bar that probably could only maximum hold like 80 people at once, so it's not like a huge venue. So who are you going to see? Let's just get right into it. Like, what kind of artist are you going to?
Okay. I'm going to pick somebody that is broken up today. Okay. Picture them still together. One Direction. Okay.
Sure. So in this alternate universe, in this alternate universe, they were popular for a while, but they fell on hard times, and they decided not to like do solo careers or anything. So they're just trying to make a buck. They're relatively, like, they're performing at a place that has like room for 80 people. Like, they're not doing great. But you managed to hear about it. It wasn't advertised very well, but you managed to hear about it because where you work, they posted an ad in the newspaper, so you heard about it. So you're headed there. And you walk into this. It's a real seedy bar. It's like it looks kind of like a place where motorcycle enthusiasts, if you will, would hang out.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not the greatest place venue that this particular band has headlined, if you will.
Okay.
But they're here, and you're willing to risk it to see them. So you enter the establishment. There is a definite like cordoned off area that these quote-unquote motorcycle enthusiasts have like sectioned off. They're like, this is still, you have the feeling that they're like, this is still our establishment. We want to have at least some room here.
Right.
Even though the establishment has seen fit to have a band that is probably not in their taste, but they're still here.
Yeah.
So, so there's like these big muscular guys at the bar front. and they're like downing shots, doing their normal thing. Some of them have like big frothy pints. Yeah, it's a weird environment, but then like after that little section of the bar, there is all the people who are fans that have just barely heard about this, that are dressed similar to you. You may have even seen them before at a previous concert.
Okay.
Hardcore enthusiasts is what the that little section over there is. And they have like posters up and everything. Although the decor is still a biker bar. But it is slightly dressed up towards the aesthetic of the band that you are coming to see. So, you walk up there, they play. I'm not 100% familiar with their lineup, like what they would normally play at a live venue.
It's always first.
So they play their most popular set, and like their first most popular 5 songs up to 2010, and then they play requests. So they're there for a couple of hours. You can interact with some of the other people here if you wish, to try to just get some more flavor in there. But otherwise, we will skip to the next major event.
Go for it. I'm just gonna like talk to the people beside me and see how they are, and basically,
okay,
just small talk. Just that's it. Until the band comes on stage, and then I'm gonna sing along with them, and that's it.
All right.
Basically, what you do at a concert.
Yep, that's fair. A few of these people you've seen before, and you just sort of like catch up a little bit. Like, yeah, that particular concert in this particular place was super cool, and all the things that you did at those particular concerts, and a few people gather around, and you're like, "Oh, I missed that one," sort of thing. So you, a few people are talking to you, like. There's no shortage of camaraderie here. They're accepting of whoever you are. Like, there's a few trans people that are slightly obvious, but they're willing to talk about it and everything, and everybody's open, and it's cool. Nobody's judging. So, yep. So you have the interesting conversations, meeting new people. You exchange a phone number or two for some new people that you might want to text later on. Although there are a few people here who are familiar with your column, and you go ahead and tell them that it's not just a teenager advice column, though that's mostly what you get, and they say they might submit something in the future.
Alright.
So, you get some decent camaraderie there. And then when the concert starts, you get in tune with the band. One of the members seems slightly like he had a couple drinks at the bar before he started, but
that would be Harry.
Fair enough. You know them better than I would, so fair enough. Yep. So. But other than that, they play a decent set, although, as you said, Harry, he seems slightly tipsy, and he almost looks like he's going to throw up between songs at one point, but he manages to regain his composure, and they continue. So, you have a decent story that you can tell that you saw Harry almost vomit. Yeah, you can tell that for the rest of your life. So,
yes.
You begin to the concert finishes. Like they play their songs that they had time for, that they got paid for, and you notice a couple of the band members walk up to this really tough looking The best way I can describe it is he's like a cross between a biker and a pimp looking attire.
Okay.
And he's dark skinned, and he seems to have a countenance about him that just is slightly off-putting, but interesting. But this dark-skinned guy pays them their due, and they leave the venue. Seems like they're not willing to stay and party afterward. They really just wanted the money to get and then get out of here. It seems like. So then you notice. Actually, I'll get you to roll. Why not? I'll open your sheet just to see what your stats are in this regard. Yeah, okay, you get 1 dice. Because it's just your perception.
No, it's not. It's stats. Perception. Let me find it. Okay, got it. Do I click on the word?
No, you don't need to do that. You can just roll 1 dice. You said you like using physical dice, so you can do that.
Well, I don't have mine with me.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
That's why I was going to use that.
Are you familiar with how Roll20 works?
Yes, that's why I asked if I could click the word.
Yeah, unfortunately, these sheets aren't that interactive. So, do you know how to roll just 1d10?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Do that. Because the sheet, you need to set up stuff in order to get it to work.
I think I clicked it right. An 8.
Yeah, so you got a success. For this particular challenge, that's enough. So, you glance over towards the bar, and you notice that there's this guy who's just staring at you.
Okay.
You're not sure. He looks like one of the bikers, however. So, you're not sure why he's staring at you. Although he has this toothpick in his mouth. He has a do-rag over his hair. And he's got super he's got muscles, and he's got super intricate tattoos going down his arm. Both of his arms, actually. He seems really tough, and he doesn't seem like he's going to stop watching you unless if you leave.
Okay. I'm going to text Kelsey, the one from earlier, and I am going to tell her that there is a guy staring at me. Tell her what he looks like, and then I'm going to head out.
Okay. You leave. You're headed towards where your vehicle is. I'll get you to roll.
I was just going to walk.
Oh, you're going to walk home?
Yeah, that's how they grab her in.
Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. It works. It's just that you've left you brought a vehicle here. At least I thought you did.
Oh.
But if you walk here, that works. That works fine. It takes just about as much time to walk there as it does to drive there. So, it'll work. Okay, that's fine. So you start walking home.
Okay.
You see... wait. I need you to roll another dice, because you're rolling to see something else.
Okay. Let me roll real quick.
Yeah, and since you don't have alertness, all you have is your 1d10.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, so you continue walking. You do hear, however, one of the motorcycles nearby. You sort of glance around to see if it's following you or anything, but it just seems like it was driving a different direction through the city. So you continue walking, and you're taking one of your regular shortcuts through an alleyway. It's not uncommon that you take this shortcut, and you've never had problems here before, so you see no reason not to do this. So, Not to forcefully get you into a bad situation, but this is what you do. And you walk into this alleyway, and you see the dude that was staring at you in the bar, the super buff biker dude, just standing at the other end of the alleyway.
Okay. Is he like up against a wall, or can I see that far?
No, you can see. You can see him.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's just standing in the middle, like with his arms in an imposing fashion to show off his muscles.
Okay, so basically across his chest.
Well, yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Well, I can't really see you right now because I'm like trying to roll dice too. Let me see.
It works. It works. So he's just staring at you.
I'm going to go all the way down to where he is and attempt to go around him instead of like to him and speak to him. Okay. I'm just going to keep my head
try to walk around him as if he was just another person.
Yeah. And I'm just going to like keep my head down and just as I get by him, like say, excuse me or something like that.
Okay. He takes his big, meaty hand as you're about to walk by him. You're like, you're in the middle of excuse, and then he just like uses his hand to push you back in front of him. And he's like, didn't you see me looking?
I'm going to say yes, but I don't know you.
Not yet, you don't. And he snaps his fingers, and there's 2 bikers beside him now, and there's a couple of bikers walking down the alleyway towards you.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to... So they're basically all around me? I can't go anywhere?
There is some space. However, that amount of space, he has a chance of, like, just, like, using his meaty hand again to, like, smack you back into the middle. But you can still try to get around him if you want. It depends on what method you use. It depends on what method you use.
I'm going to take my chance. I'm going to try to go around him again.
Alright. It's going to require a dexterity.
Oh gosh. This is bad. Okay, let me see my sheet.
Yeah, you have 1 dexterity.
Oh god.
So 1 dice.
Oh god. 1d10, right?
Yep.
Okay. What happens if it's 5?
For this particular challenge, a 5 is a success. So, you manage to get around him and out into the more public space of the sidewalk that you were trying to get to. However, one of the biker dudes, he walks up behind you and he's going to try to grab you. So to resist this, you can either use your dexterity or strength, which is the same 1 dice.
Okay, I want to resist, but I want to run. Like, as soon as he, like, tries to grab me.
Okay, that's fine. But his hand is, like, so close to you that you need to get his hand either away from you or move out of the way of his hand before you can run. So
okay, so 1 dice. Dexterity either way?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 dice.
You got another success. So you managed to get his hand away from you long enough.
Well, I was going to dodge.
Yep, you managed to get away. So you can run if you want.
Okay, I'm going to run.
Alright.
And not look back.
Yeah, you notice, however, that the road ahead, like the sidewalk, you thought that this was going to be a more public place. However, it seems like there's some heavily armed biker dudes just sort of like preventing the more probably empathetic crowd from coming into this area. They're like turning people away, even cars. They're acting as if this road is closed. They just have like their bikes in the middle of the road, and there's dudes with submachine guns in the middle of the road, and they're like turning people away, and they're like, we're not gonna mess with that, and they leave. So you're approaching a dude, like the sidewalk that you're running on. There's a dude with a submachine gun standing on that sidewalk. So, what do you want to do?
Is there another way I could go?
You can turn back. However, if you turn back, there's that biker dude who was trying to grab you. You can go inside the building nearby. However, it's like an apartment building, so you don't know if you'll be able to get in there or not.
Okay. Does the apartment building look fancy?
It's fancy enough that it has one of those things where you can hit the button to try to talk to somebody, but it's in the seedy part of town because that's where the bar was. So it's not. It's not like like millionaires live here or anything. It's not like that. It's maybe middle class.
Middle class. Lower. Yeah. I am going to... I'm going to have to pull a girl thing. I'm going to scream fire.
Alright, so where are you screaming that to?
I'm in the middle of the sidewalk between the two guys, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to turn to where there are the most cars and the most people, and I'm going to scream fire to see if anyone, helps.
Alright.
And
you scream to the road to see if anybody reacts. Nobody reacts, but you turn to that apartment building as you were screaming, and you see this stereotypical gangbanger type dude opens a window from his apartment, and he's like, "Shut up, lady! Trying to sleep."
Oh, great. That's just great.
But he is sticking his head out the window, so you can try to do something. You can see his face.
I'm gonna yell up at him and say, "Help, there's somebody trying to get me."
He just sort of looks down. He looks confused, and the dude that has the submachine gun has turned around at this point. And he looks up at where the guy is, and he's like, "This is none of your business. Go back to bed." And the guy is about ready to back up. But I'll let you roll a charisma to see if you can convince him to help you. So that's 2d10.
Oh god.
You did hit one critical, which is more than enough to succeed on this. So, he goes, "Hey, who you think you are talking about that lady like that?" And then the guy goes, "Go back to bed," as he's pointing this submachine gun up at him. And you see the dude in the window. He just reaches down below where the window is, and he just takes out a handgun, and he just starts shooting at that guy. So this guy with the submachine gun is trying to take cover, but it's a little bit too late as he just gets shot.
Oh god!
Just, falls to the ground. Okay. However, as this is happening, I'm going to get you to make an awareness roll.
Oh god.
Which is going to be perception plus awareness, which you have 3 dice in total.
3. That's not good. That is. Okay.
You got a success, so you do notice something.
Okay.
Not one success, so you do notice something. Here's what you notice. You see that there's this weird dude that you haven't noticed before. Is sort of just leaning against the wall, but once he hears the gunfire, he looks over towards your direction. He has a hoodie on, so his face is covered and everything. As soon as he sees that gunfire is happening, almost as if supernaturally, he you see him, and then suddenly, almost like you saw the flash moving. He's just not there.
Okay. I'm gonna run.
You do see that the bikers are now focused on this guy in the window, and you also see like other lights turning on in the apartment complex, and you see that there are other dudes like hearing the gunfire, and you see a dude open the window, and he has like an AK-47 that he's pointing out the window. It's devolving quickly, is what's happening.
Okay, I'm running. I'm running.
Yeah, the bikers aren't paying attention to you anymore. A dude is shooting at them, they're trying to deal with that, and more people are noticing and shooting at them. So you start bolting out of here.
Okay. How long is the alley? Like, do I go down another alley or what?
You can go down another alley. Now that those two dudes aren't in your way anymore, and they're focusing on the guy who's shooting at them, yeah, there's nobody in your way. You can get to the other alley, which was there before. It's just that you couldn't get to it without getting past that guy. So
yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to go like I'm going home.
All right.
I want to attempt to run home.
Okay. You go through this other alley. It's going to take you a little bit out of your way, but there's a gunfight happening. You're not worried about that.
Yeah.
So it takes you a little bit out of your way. However, as you walk into this alley, you notice that big dude who was staring at you before is in this alley. He slightly surprises you, and he like grabs you and like slams you against the wall. And he's like, "You bitch, you did this to my crew!" And as that happens,
okay,
you can react. You have a chance to say something if you want.
Am I allowed to slap him and try to get away?
Okay, yeah, sure. You slap him, and he gets slightly disoriented for a second as he just pins you against the wall. This is a story moment, though. So, as he's pinned you against the wall, he looks like he has the darkest thoughts in his mind about what he wants to do to you.
Mm-hmm.
But as that happens, you see the dude in the hoodie suddenly appear again, almost as if it were the Flash, like, just suddenly running super quickly and then stopping right behind this guy. And then he just sort of grabs him by the neck, and he just sort of pushes him down. This guy that's using throwing this huge, bulky guy around. He's like as skinny as I am, like super skinny. He's not like super buff. He's skinny. He just sort of like grabs him by the shoulder and like throws him down to the ground. You are now released, and you see this guy like attacking this dude who was attacking you.
Okay.
As you stand there slightly flabbergasted, you see him just sort of like grabbing the guy's like head and shoulder to prevent him from preventing what's going to happen next. And he just sort of like starts biting into this guy's neck.
Okay. I'm going to look at him shocked. Like, does he like stop to look at me or whatever? I'm just gonna be like, what?
He does. You go, what? And as you say that, you see the biker dude start convulsing slightly as his eyes roll into the back of his head. And you see that the dude doesn't stop biting his neck. Like, he's holding on with like a death grip onto this guy's neck.
Okay. Can I move, or am I like too shocked?
You can do whatever you want. However, you do see this guy is like biting this dude's neck.
Well, I was just gonna stand there shocked, like, what?
Yeah. So, after about an excruciating minute or two, although it seems like an eternity, you're just standing there watching this guy prevent this huge, bulky guy. Like, he's even, like, using one of his legs to hold down this huge, bulky arm, even though his leg doesn't look very, like, muscular or anything.
So basically, okay, yeah. I get it.
He seems slightly supernaturally strong in this moment. And he's just biting down on this dude's neck. The dude stops resisting. He goes limp. And the guy still doesn't stop sucking on this guy's neck. As he just lays there, and then you can see that his eyes just glaze over the biker who was attacking you. And he's probably dead at this moment. As the dude in the hoodie just sort of stands up, he looks back at you. You can see his mouth is dripping with blood. And he looks at you and he says, "Come with me if you want to live."
I'm gonna follow him, obviously.
He starts walking away. He seems fine though, even though he just like ripped this dude's throat out with his mouth.
That's creepy, but yeah, I'm gonna follow him. I'm not taking no chances.
Alright, so you start following him, and you hear a cell phone ring. It's not your ringtone, so you know it's not your phone. But he reaches into his pocket. He looks at his cell phone, and he swipes to the side to answer the call. And he goes, "Yeah. Alright. I got her. Though it's not going as planned. There's a lot more commotion than I thought. At least what I did is going to be covered up, probably. Alright, so I have official permission now." Okay. He hangs up. He's like, "We can do this the hard way or the easy way. Your choice." As he leads you out of the alleyway.
I'm going with the easy way.
He goes, "Alright. You follow me back to my apartment, and I'll try to explain some of what just happened." I'm gonna nod as he starts leading you down the street, the next street.
I'm gonna nod at him and just like follow him. Like, am I like under a trance or whatever? Or
no, he's not. He's not charming you or anything. He's not using his powers on you because you're willingly going. So he sees no reason to use any powers yet.
Okay, I'm following him. I'm just gonna nod and just go.
Okay. So he leads you to an even more seedy apartment complex.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
It doesn't even have a lock on the front door. To prevent non-occupants of the apartment building from entering. It looks like the doorknob was broken off long ago. So you enter this, he just like grabs the hole where the knob was and just pushes the door open. Like, that's how easy it is to enter this place.
Oh, Lord.
So he walks in. His face, by the way, like his chin is still crimson because of what he did.
And
his like
has anybody seen it?
Yeah, his upper lip is like covered in crimson as well. So yeah, he was just walking down the street at that point, covered in crimson. But luckily, it seems like gunfire made all the other pedestrians run away, so it seems like nobody noticed. So he enters this apartment complex. He goes up to the third floor, and he goes to this door. Compared to everything else in here, like, the stairway that you had to walk up to get here has, like, dirty baby diapers and, like, just refuse, garbage. Like, there's a pop can halfway up the staircase. It's, like, it's not a great looking building. But as you approach his door, it seems like somebody freshly painted this door. And it has a new doorknob. And things of that nature. And he walks over, he takes out a key. He inserts it into the lock. He turns the lock. He opens the door. And you can see inside what looks like the best way to describe it is like a middle class to slightly higher class apartment inside.
Okay.
Even though the exterior is falling apart and no one seems to care about it, it seems like this particular apartment has been touched up and cared for as he walks into this building.
Okay.
Do you follow him into the apartment?
I'm going to stand at the doorway looking around and just wait until I have this say so, like, to go in.
He's like going through his routine of like taking off his jacket, throwing his keys to the side.
Oh gosh.
Taking
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So he's even like kicking his shoes off, and he's just about to sit on the couch that you can see inside his apartment. And he looks at you, and he can see that you're like. He turns back to you, sees that you haven't entered, and then he sort of like walks back towards the door, and he sort of like is seeing like you just saw him eat a dude's throat. That's how you're looking at him, and he just sort of goes, "Oh, sorry about that. Come in." Yeah, he like wipes off some of the blood on his chin as he says that.
Okay. I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, "Let me doctor you up." I'm gonna go into the bathroom and see if he has a med kit.
Okay. You start walking into his apartment and he goes, "Don't worry about that." And it seems like he legitimately, as he tries to stop you, he just zones out for a minute.
Okay.
Just sort of, he got enthralled by something, it almost looks like. So for you as a player, since he's a Torador, he's seeing that someone is willing to help him even though he looks monstrous, and he's viewing it as beautiful, so he's like entranced. But you as a human don't really recognize that. He just looks like he was about to stop you, and then he just stopped moving. So you can go try to grab the health kit if you want, but he tried to stop you, and then he like froze in his tracks for some reason.
Okay, I'm gonna try to go get the health kit, and then I'm gonna turn around to ask him where it is, and then I'm going to ask him what's wrong.
Okay. You ask him where it is, he doesn't respond. And then you go towards him, and you ask him what's wrong, and then it's sort of like he woke up out of a daze, and then he just looks at you and he goes, "Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm fine." And he just sort of like goes into the bathroom, and then he just starts like wiping off his face at the sink.
Okay.
And then you can see he doesn't have any like wounds on him or anything. Like he's not he didn't get injured at all. Like that biker dude, as powerful as he looked, and the ability to overpower you in certain moments so easily, none of that seemed to have affected him at all, even though he's like as skinny, if not skinnier than you are.
Okay.
So he doesn't seem injured. But yeah, you asked him what's wrong, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's nothing," and went into the washroom to wash his face off.
I'm going to touch him up, wipe that blood off his face, and then I'm going to sit like next to him.
Yeah, you sit on the toilet, and he's like leaning against the sink. Just for setting the scene a little bit.
Okay.
Like the toilet seat, like the cover and everything is down. So you're not like sitting in a hole.
That's why I went, okay. Let me see. I'm not really I'm not sure what I do. I'm just gonna clean them up, I guess, and say thank you to them.
And he goes, I wish I could say that I did that out of the kindness of my own heart. But I had a selfish motivation.
And what was that?
You did overhear him on the phone call, so...
Yes.
You do know that he said that he found, like, a package or something. You don't remember his exact words, but you have a feeling that he wasn't talking about going to UPS and getting a package.
Right. I had a feeling it was me.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, I sent you that letter.
What letter?
I think you know which one.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's just saying, like, I think you know which one. As if he thinks that you know what he's talking about.
Okay, I'm going to give him a look, and I'm going to say, the one we're having investigated?
He looks at you. He seems slightly annoyed for a second, and then he takes his cell phone out, and he starts, like, pressing some buttons, as if he's calling somebody. Mm-hmm. And at any point, you can stop. You can try to do something, but unless if you want to do something, he just puts up the phone to his ear, and he goes, "Yeah, it appears I screwed up again. Okay, I get it, but I still have permission. Okay, I'll see you at Elysium." He hangs up the phone. He puts it away. And he goes, you weren't supposed to report that. I get it. But, damn it. And he just sort of walks out into the other room. He did say that he would explain some things, and he hasn't so far.
Okay.
Just to give you a little push in case you need it.
Okay. I'm going to look up at him after I clean him, obviously, and I'm going to be like, what are you?
Yeah, so he's sitting on the couch, and you follow him because you're like, he didn't explain anything yet, so you just pursue him. And he goes, so you're like sitting on the couch as he's like turning on Netflix, and you see that he has Netflix on, and he's looking at it, and he's like, really? It's recommending me True Blood? As he just like scrolls through to the next thing. And he just turns to you as you ask him that question. And he goes, are you gonna run away?
I'm not going anywhere. What are you?
I'm a vampire. As he just sort of keeps scrolling through the thing. And he goes, why does it keep recommending... Yeah, as you say that, he's just about to say, why does it keep recommending me Twilight? As you see Twilight's on... One of the Twilight movies is on the screen.
Oh my god!
And he turns to you, and he goes, I'm a vampire. And I called the Camarilla, which is the organization I belong to as a vampire, to get permission to sire a new vampire. As he just keeps flicking through the Netflix thing after he says that.
I'm gonna look at him and dumbfounded, and I'm gonna be like, you want me to do what?
And he goes, well, if you're willing, it would be a lot easier. I have permission. I can do it regardless. As he keeps flicking through, you see, there's another Netflix exclusive show that's about vampires. I forget the name. But you see that come up on the screen. And he goes, why does it keep recommending me this shit? As he just sort of throws the remote across the room. And he just sort of grabs the cable remote and just turns on some generic news to play in the background.
Okay. I'm just gonna sit there, like, staring off into space, trying to imagine what it's going to be like to be a vampire. And then I'm gonna look, my face is gonna change from dumbfounded to a huge smile. And I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, let's do it.
He looks at you. Are you sure?
I'm gonna nod at him with a huge smile, just, willingly doing this.
He goes, alright. Some vampires say this is the best part about turning into a vampire. As he slowly reaches towards your neck, turns your head to the side so that way he has free access. And then he just bites onto your neck.
Well, I was going to move my hair first, so...
Okay. If you were going to, he'll let you. If you're willing.
Okay.
Okay, you do your hair.
Yeah.
And then you see him behind you as you're at the mirror. And yes, vampires in this world have reflections. At least most of them. Some of them don't, actually. But this particular type does. So, you're lucky on that part. So he comes up behind you as you finish doing up your hair, and then he just sort of like tilts your head to the side, and then he bites your neck. This feeling of excruciating ecstasy overtakes you. You stand there for a minute, just absorbing what's happening, although you begin to become lightheaded, and then you pass out.
Okay.
You awaken again on his couch.
Oh god, that's scary.
On the same couch.
Okay.
And he's just, like, he's laid you out on the side of the couch. He's bent your legs up so that way your feet aren't, like, over his lap or anything. And he's just sitting on the couch next to you. And he's just watching some generic news.
Still? Okay.
And he's just like, he looks over at you as you wake up and he sees that you're looking at the TV. And he goes, the vampire bullshit is just too generic for me. As he just keeps looking at the TV.
Oh god.
Yeah, apparently all that's on is vampire stuff. Apparently.
Okay.
So he's just watching TV. You seem fine. After you woke up, you seemed fine.
Okay. Do I have any hunger or anything?
It's starting to creep up as you're sitting there. You feel, it's kind of like, you know how the angel and the devil are on, they say that they're on people's shoulders and stuff and they whisper in your ears? Well, you definitely feel like there are thoughts entering your mind that aren't yours, that are telling you that you're hungry and you need to devour something. But you're not sure what that is, but you have an instinct to not bite the man in front of you, but eat something. And that something is probably not here, so you're getting like this instinctual drive to just leave this area.
Okay.
However, you are able to resist it for now.
Okay. I'm going to explain how I'm feeling to him, and I'm going to say, is that normal?
He goes, I forgot about the beast. And he gets up, and he goes over to the fridge. You can see that he has some stuff that looks relatively normal to have in a fridge. Although it seems to be in front of what he really has stored in this fridge. Which he moves, like, some purple stuff and some other stuff like the Sunny D commercials. That's usually in front of the Sunny D. But he doesn't grab Sunny D. He grabs a blood bag.
Oh God.
And he actually grabs 4 of them. And he brings them over to you and puts them next to you. Suddenly your hunger just looks at those blood bags and says that you don't need to leave this place anymore. What you need is right in front of you.
I'm going to ask him what it is. I'm going to go like, what is that? Like,
yeah, that's fine.
I'm going to pretend to be dumb, but...
He looks at you. He can tell, because you're in a vulnerable moment, so you're not really trying to hide your feelings. So he just looks at you, and he goes, "You know what that is." And he just turns back to the TV. He changes the channel, and apparently it's on Paranormal Investigators, and he just goes, shit, there's nothing else on it still. And he just changes it back to the news.
Okay. I'm going to grab the bag, and I'm going to say, did you kill somebody for it?
He goes, no. The Camarilla has a running deal with the blood bank. I saved these ones up.
I'm going to nod, and I'm going to attempt to drink it.
Alright, you drink it, and it's cold. It's not as satisfying as the voice in the back of your mind says it should be. But it doesn't taste exactly like blood. Like, your taste buds aren't tasting blood. Instead, they're tasting this weird mix of Diet Dr. Pepper and marijuana as you drink this particular blood bag.
Okay.
However, you drink the blood bag, and for what you would think drinking blood would be like, it would make you try to vomit or something. You still have that part of your brain saying, yeah, that's what it should do, but you feel fine. Okay.
So I'm still somewhat human. Like, I can still have feelings and, like, have a conscience.
Yeah, that's what your humanity is for. So yeah, you still have your humanity. You're not you're not at 0 humanity, so you don't want to just, like, kill everyone. So you're good in that regard.
Okay, so I'm just gonna continue to drink it all.
Yeah, so the blood bags, each of the blood bags has a different flavor to it. Almost as if you're getting used to, instead of eating pork and beef and vegetables and stuff like that, it seems like the different mixtures of flavors depends on what the person consumed prior to the blood being taken.
Okay, and so basically this guy got
to the flavor. It contributes to the flavor. You didn't get high, but it contributes to the flavor. So you can taste those notes in the blood. This guy definitely smoked weed before he gave blood. He definitely had a Diet Dr. Pepper. Okay.
I'm going to grab another bag if it doesn't satisfy me.
Yep, you grab all 4 bags, and you seem satiated, though you can still feel this. It's if you're familiar with Lovecraft at all.
Nope.
Like Cthulhu, right?
Who?
Oh, okay, you're not. Okay, so it's like this weird. I was going to just describe it as an eldritch horror, but you might not know what that is. So,
what a eldritch horror is, because I play Magic the Gathering.
Fair enough. So they're like creatures that try to, like, manipulate your mind and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, you still feel like there's this weird Eldritch Horror-esque voice in the back of your head that is telling you that you need to eat things, but it seems to be calm. Like, it's not in the front of your brain like it was so heavily before.
Okay.
And he looks at you and he says, "That should have quelled the beast."
I said, I'm going to say somewhat.
He nods. "It never fully goes away, but you learn to ignore it." As he just continues watching this, like, dude talking about 2010. Who was in office at 2010?
I can look it up real quick.
Okay.
Probably.
It's either George Bush or Obama,
but I don't remember. Obama.
I don't remember. Is it Obama?
He was in office in the United States in 2010.
Obama?
I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
That is not right, but okay. Taking me to Twitter, sorry. Who was in office in 2010 in the United States?
Oh no.
What?
I did a thing. I searched list of presidents and it's starting with George Washington. So, give me a minute. Yep. 2010 it would be Obama.
That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. Yep, it says it right here. Okay.
Yep, because in January 2009 is when he was elected. So, yes.
Okay.
Yep, there's some... Yeah. Apparently he has it on Fox News because they're bad-mouthing Obama. Again.
Alright.
Yep, so... He's just like... He looks over at you and sees that you're, like... I assume Renee is left-wing. In her
what?
Politics. I assume Renee is left-wing in her politics.
What do you mean?
Like... Not conservative.
I don't know what that means, but she could care less.
Okay. About politics? Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
So he just looks over at you, sees your indifference, and goes, "Yeah, I don't really care either." He just turns it off.
I'm gonna say, why am I so hungry?
He goes, "'Cause I had to drain most of your blood in order to turn you into a vampire."
I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna go sarcastically, "Do you sparkle in the sun too?"
He goes, "For a minute, before I turn into a pile of ash."
Oh god!
Yeah, so the flames that are coming off of his body are sparkly, I guess, is what he's trying to say.
Okay, he took very seriously. I didn't think he would. Okay, I'm going to just get off the couch and go back to the refrigerator and get more blood packets. Packets! Oh my god, I can't talk!
I mean, there might be such a thing as a blood baguette. But you haven't seen one yet, so...
I don't know what a baguette is, either.
A baguette? You don't know what a baguette is?
No!
It's those long sticks of bread.
Oh god.
Yeah, there might be a blood baguette.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's just the French word for, like, a long stick of bread.
Oh, okay. Oh, a loaf of bread. Okay.
Yeah. It's a long loaf of bread.
I don't.
Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to know what everything is.
I basically failed Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's what I had to do. Okay.
Baguette is a French word, but that's fine.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, if you've never taken French, then it might not be a thing that you know. So that's fine.
Okay, yeah, I don't. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, you move the other stuff out of the way, and you see that he has about 20 more blood bags in here.
I'm gonna grab them all.
Okay. And you
eat them.
You just have this big armful of blood bags, and you just sort of like drop them on the coffee table in front of the TV.
Yes, I'm gonna just right in front of him and make him look at it.
And he goes, "Probably don't need that much. Just saying."
I'm just gonna give him a look like, "Don't you dare touch him."
And he just looks at you and he says, "I'm fine. I fed off that other guy. He was attacking you anyway."
I'm gonna look at him like seriously, and I'm gonna go, "What's so special about me?"
I just noticed you one day walking out of the Chronicle Herald place, and I don't know. I don't know. He just sort of lays back. Although you as a player would know, not your character.
Right.
You have an appearance of 3, so you're pretty good looking.
Okay. Yeah. So he's going on my list. Great.
Yep.
Okay.
It was super impulsive, is what you're getting. Like, you can see that he doesn't want to say that, but that's what it is.
Okay.
He's claiming that he doesn't know what sparked within him, but you're like, yeah, I've heard it before. It's what it is.
I'm going to give him a look like, yeah, right, and then I'm going to drink the bags like, no, I don't believe you.
And he goes, fine. As he just sort of stares at the blank television as if there was something actually on it.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because he turned it off.
I'm going to smack his arm and be like, tell the truth.
He goes, fine. When I first saw you, I was beguiled.
I am going to look at him like, are you serious?
He goes, well, our kind of has that problem. As he,
points.
Yeah, you have a flashback to when he just stopped in the middle of the room when you were going to find the medkit.
Uh-huh.
You have a feeling that maybe that happened to him when he first saw you for the first time. And that's what he's trying to say.
So he's attracted to me.
Perhaps.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to use that against my, for my pleasure. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and by the way, this is your sire, by the way. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way you can picture more what he looks like.
Like, is he on the screen or whatever? Roll20?
Oh no, I didn't put anything on the Roll20. I didn't think I would need it. But yeah, it's the guy that you sent the picture of.
Oh, Landon! Okay, yay!
Yep. So that's what he looks like.
Yay.
And that is his name, yes.
I didn't think you'd be serious.
Yeah.
With that.
It makes no difference to me as long as you're okay with me playing him differently, which is what I'm doing.
Okay, that's great. I didn't think you'd take that serious, but okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to look at him. Does he, like, get up at all? Or, walk away? Or... No?
He's just staring at the television as if it has something on it.
I'm going to drink.
You have a feeling that, maybe he just, in a similar way that he got beguiled by a mundane situation before, maybe he just sees a poeticness in having a TV off and two people sitting in front of it looking at it.
I'm gonna look at the TV and I'm gonna pretend I'm into the TV while it's off. Like pretend something's on it and I'm watching it. And I'm gonna say, "You're cute too."
Yeah, since you're a troubadour, I'm pretty sure you have to make a roll if something's artsy.
Oh, I didn't know.
Distraction of art. Yep. You have that written on your sheet. You just don't have the roll that you need to make written down.
Oh, sorry. Was I supposed to?
Just so that way you could remember it, but yeah, kinda.
Oh God.
Okay, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I do have it.
It's because you're a troubadour. It's the clan of vampire you are.
Yay.
Page 37 is what it says in the PDF, so I'm gonna go there.
Sorry, my friends texted me at the same time.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm still getting used to the system and everything. I don't know what all the clans do and everything, so.
You're fine. I need this.
Okay. I'm at the section where the clans are. I just need to scroll down far enough to get to... Oh, and since... Just for you as a player... so far, what we have in your group is... a Tremere, which is the magic dudes. You have a Nosferatu, which is one of the ugly dudes. And the other person is a Giovanni, so a necromancer.
Awesome. Not really.
Yeah, you guys are going to have to figure out a way to work together.
Oh, great.
So, yes, your weakness. Player must make a self-control or instincts roll. So you have to roll your self-control.
Let me find it. Self-control. That's good.
So you have free self-control.
Where? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, 3. I think I can do this.
So you get to roll 3d10.
3.
And the difficulty is 6 or higher. So if you get 6 or higher, you succeed.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, you got 1 success, which is all that is necessary to not be beguiled. So you don't see what's in it. The same thing that he does.
Okay. I thought it was 6 or higher. That's 9, 10, 10. 3.
Yeah, you rolled 3d10, so you got 7 on one of the dice.
No, I didn't.
That's higher than 6.
I didn't. No, I didn't. You're... Scroll down. I got 9, 10, 10.
Oh, 9, 10, 10. For some reason, the roll 20 didn't roll down all the way. Okay. That's annoying. But anyway, yeah, you super don't see what he sees in it. So you're definitely not beguiled.
Okay.
Although you can tell that he sees some, like, there's a painting that's just white paint on a canvas, and it's called A Bunny in a Snowstorm or something like that. People consider white paint on a canvas art. So, like, yeah, you can tell that he sees this as, like, poetic in some way. But, yeah, in this moment, You just don't see it.
Alright.
It's like you're looking at a painting that just doesn't strike you as evocative of anything.
Okay. So, we're good.
Yeah.
I am going to, like I said, I'm going to, like, look out the corner of my eye and say, you're cute too, and then look back at the TV.
He just looks over at you and goes, alright, I guess.
Huh?
He goes, alright, I guess.
Okay, sorry.
And he stops looking at the TV, and he looks at his phone to tell what time it is, and he's like, shit, we're supposed to be at Elysium. He puts his phone in his pocket. And then he starts getting up, starts getting ready to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts putting his shoes back on, he grabs his keys and everything.
I'm gonna go, where are you going?
He looks at you and he says, I just told you, Elysium.
I'm gonna look at him and go, what is that? And
it's a place where vampires gather, and it is peaceful. There's no fighting there. However, they wanted us there because of my screw-up earlier tonight. Or, actually, yes, that too, but the screw-up of me sending you the letter.
I'm just gonna shrug and I'm gonna say, do I need to be there?
It would probably be good if you got introduced to some of the people there.
I'm gonna put my shoes, my boots back on, and I'm gonna be like, let's go.
Alright, so he escorts you, just to fast forward a little bit, because it is running on a little bit longer than I was hoping, but that's okay.
Sorry!
No. It's technically my fault, because I lost track of time. But anyway, so, he takes you, and this is in the game, he takes you to an art museum. And he pulls up in front of it, like he actually took his car to get there. And he parks the car in front of the art museum. You can tell that for it being this late at night, like, he tells you that it's, like, the clocks and stuff around you tell you that it's, like, 3 or 4 in the morning. And for 3 or 4 in the morning, it's weird to see an art museum open with lights on.
Okay.
But he motions to the front door, and he goes, this is Elysium.
Okay. Let's go in. I'm gonna say it like that, and I'm gonna be like, duh.
Okay, so he opens the door on his side, on the driver's side, and he begins walking towards the front entrance to the art museum. Well, it's technically a gallery. Where more modern art is put on for sale, rather than a museum, which you can't sell. So, it's more of a gallery.
Okay.
So he just goes inside. He doesn't, like, do the gentlemanly thing and, like, open the door for you or anything. He just goes in.
Gee, thanks. I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna, like, in shock, and I'm gonna be like, hello?
He's already inside, as you say that. Like, you say that as he's entering the door, and then he goes in the door and closes it behind him.
I'm gonna murmur some curse words about him to myself, and then I'm gonna go in.
Alright. You go in. And you end up in what looks like the main art gallery location. You can see that there are plenty of people here. Some well-dressed, some not so much. Some definitely not people you would normally see at an art gallery. Like, people who look like bums, basically.
Okay.
And they're all just hanging out talking to each other, as if there's nothing weird about all these different people hanging out with each other. Some of them look super creepy as well. Like, on the car ride over, I'll say that he explained that some of them are going to look creepy and to not stare too much. They may take offense.
Okay.
So yeah, some of them are like, there's a dude who has like, his face looks, has curved, sharp teeth protruding from his lips, sticking out like an inch from his face. And,
oh God!
Like huge ears.
Oh God!
There's another dude who has like it looks like bones protrude from his cheeks, like his cheekbones just grew too much, and they have like huge spikes coming out of his face. There's just a bunch of weird looking dudes in this room. However, there's also normal looking dudes in this room. There's also women, of course, not just dudes.
Oh yeah.
Some of them look weird as well, but some of them look relatively normal.
Okay. I'm just gonna walk past and try to find him.
Okay, you start looking around. And as you start pushing through people, not like hard, like just telling them to move out of your way and that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Like putting your hand on their shoulder gently and like getting them to move for you, that sort of thing.
Just being nice about it.
Yeah. You see a dude in a formal suit, almost like a tuxedo looking outfit. Has hair that goes just past his shoulders. He has like a beard, like a very well upkept beard. And he looks like he's from, probably his heritage goes back to an Arabic country of some sort.
Okay.
And he just sort of places, he sort of like gets in front of you and like generally like seems like he's trying to block your path. He's being very polite about it. He's not like being forceful. He's just like trying to stand in your way.
Alright.
And he goes, are you the wow, I just screwed up. Are you the I just screwed up again. Are you the fledgling?
I'm gonna look at him dumbfounded and I'm gonna be like, what's a fledgling?
He sighs, pinches the bridge of his nose, and he goes, I knew it was a mistake for Landon to have sire a chill day.
I'll look at him and I'm gonna be like, what?
He goes, so Landon hasn't told you anything of our ways.
I'm gonna shake my head no and just say no and like be like, what? Like with that expression on my face.
Yeah. And he goes, well, he will be ultimately responsible if you break any of our rules.
Okay.
Therefore, you better be careful until he teaches you, or someone else does. And he says, a fledgling is a newly born vampire.
Okay.
So to reiterate my question, are you the new fledgling?
As of last night, yes.
He nods towards you. Okay, then. Landon's got some answering to do. He's currently speaking with the prince.
Who?
The prince. The leader of our particular city. Or at least within vampire culture. So basically he's saying the prince is the leader of the vampires here.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. I get you.
And apparently Landon did something bad. Because it resulted in something being investigated, which you've already connected those dots. Because when you told him that it was being investigated, yeah, he made the phone call, but even though he made the phone call, he's in trouble.
Okay. That ain't good.
So he's currently speaking with the prince, which is the leader of this particular group of vampires. And he looks at you, and he goes, the Primogen are also in there. And he motions towards a door. And yes, he is using all kinds of words that you don't know. And it seems like every time he uses one, he grins slightly. Almost as if he knows you're going to ask what it is, so that way he has to explain it.
Okay. And every time he says a new word, I'm going to be like, huh? What?
Yeah. So, I'm sure that you are slightly aware of what these words mean.
Yeah. Yes.
The Primogen are the leader of the different clans within the Camarilla.
Okay.
And they're called the Primogen Council.
Okay.
So, like, the Troubadour have a leader, the Malkavian have a leader, and so on and so on. Any of the members of a different clan have a leader for that particular clan, represented in the council. As long as the Camarilla has a member of that clan, they will have a Primogen of that clan.
Okay.
Even if it's just one, that one will be the Primogen.
Okay.
So he goes on to explain that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, he's making his case.
Okay.
See whether or not he deserves punishment.
Well, I don't think he does. He didn't know that I was going to call.
He sent you a letter, correct?
I guess? Yes, he did.
Yeah, he admitted as much, so...
Yeah.
So, yeah, he goes... What did the envelope look like?
It was yellow. Like, old. And it was dated 1961.
He just goes... They can track him. He just sort of is looking off in the distance.
Oh.
And if they track him... And he's just sort of like... He's saying it loud enough that you can hear, but he's acting, and you can tell that he's blatantly acting. He's not, like, trying to hide that he's acting as if he's just talking to himself. He's definitely saying it so you can hear that. And he goes, if they can track him, he'll probably tell them where our Elysium is, and then they'll kill us all. And then he just sort of looks at you as if he just absentmindedly said something that his brain was thinking. To see what your reaction is.
I'm going to sigh, and I'm going to try to find Landon, and I'm going to try to find the council and explain what happened, and I'm going to call Kelsey and tell her just to forget it and not worry about it.
Okay. He sees you begin to take out a cell phone. This guy, who's who's been standing in front of you as you're about to call Kelsey. And he's like, I wouldn't do that.
I'm gonna be like, do what?
The prince is not gonna be pleased. As he walks over and he tries to take your cell phone.
I'm gonna be like, pull it away from him and be like, hey, that's mine!
He goes, okay. Just know that your sire, Landon, will be punished if you contact anybody who you shouldn't. As he just stares daggers at you.
I'm gonna sigh and put my phone back.
So you wish to see the council, as he sees that you were heading towards the door that he gestured towards, that he said the council was in.
Yes. I'm gonna say, yeah? And what can you do to help me?
He goes, well, I'm the sheriff.
So you're a part of the council?
Technically, all I do is carry out the orders of the prince, which includes execution. But I do have the ear of the prince. If you wish to enter, you may want me to enter first.
And I'm going to point to the door and say, be my guest.
Alright, he walks forward. He opens the glass doors into the next room, where you can see a bunch of shadowy figures in a circle, and they appear to be looking at something in the middle of the circle. As he approaches, and you see them communicate for a second. He comes back out, and he goes, they're going to allow you in.
I'm going to nod and let him go first, show me where to go.
Alright, he leads you in, and it's... Even though it's modern day, and everyone's wearing modern day clothes and everything, it seems very courtly. Almost like you're entering the presence of a queen or something. So, very old-fashioned, as he leads you forward. And he says, now entering the newborn fledgling. And he turns to you and he's like, what's your name?
I'm gonna tell him Renee, obviously.
And he goes, she goes by the name of Renee. As he gently and very courtly motions towards you. And then he bows and walks back out the door into the party area where everybody else is. And you see, I'll say 9 people staring at you, and you see one person who is staring at Landon that's on the floor. And he appears to be he's on his knees and he has his hands clasped together in a pleading motion as he turns to you, and then he just sort of looks at you like the other people are.
I'm going to explain the situation. I'm going to say, he didn't know I was going to call. Can I call my friend and tell her to forget it, not to worry? It's just a prank.
Okay. He looks at you, and he's surprised that you've taken the initiative this far. It seems like he's not as brave as you are, and just... he looked like he was pleading for his life when you walked into the room, and he just sort of turned to look at you. And then when you just, stood up to these people, he was just he just shocked, and he just looks at the person who's looking at him. The person who's looking at him then looks at you. It's a woman.
But I'm going to curtsy before I say all that.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. She's well dressed, but not in a formal way. She has like short sleeves, and she has gloves on. Very, and they're not like like old-fashioned gloves or anything. They're not like lace gloves or anything. They're like just black gloves.
Yep.
She has like very short hair, brown hair. As she looks at you and she says, "So you wish to save his life, even though he turned you into a monster?"
Okay, I'm gonna nod and I'm gonna say, yes, no one deserves to die because of me.
Okay. We will allow you use of your cell phone, which he should have taken. As she looks down at him and he just sort of coyly looks off to the side as if he's embarrassed. And she goes, "We will allow you use of that device to hopefully rectify this situation. If you are successful, his life will be spared. If not, then not only will his life be forfeit, but so will yours." As she looks at you with piercing eyes.
I'm gonna
motions for you to continue, like to do the thing that you said you were going to do.
Okay, I'm gonna nod and I'm gonna call Kelsey because she's on speed dial. And wait until she picks up, I guess.
All right. She picks up and she says, "Oh, hey. I actually got word on the thing you wanted me to look into."
And I'm gonna say, hey, don't worry about it. It was just a prank, I promise. Some dude just came forward and told me that it was a prank. And it's just hate mail like everyone else.
She seems slightly flabbergasted on the phone. She stumbles over her words for a second. But then she says, But I found something."
I'm going to say, don't worry about it. Just, it's probably an ancestor's handwriting or something. Just, can you return the mail, please?
She goes...
Or throw it away, shred it, something.
She goes, "This isn't like you. You... Okay. Look, I'll sit on the details for now. But you're going to have to come see me later."
I'm gonna look at the woman and I'm gonna pretend look at her for a answer.
Yeah, she can't hear what's being said. So,
I thought that was good.
Yeah, she can't hear what is being said. So she says, "Just fix it." As she motions for you to continue.
I'm going to be like, yeah, sure. I'll see you later sometime. I don't know when, but yeah, I'll come by.
Kelsey goes, "All right." She hangs up the phone.
All right.
The prince looks at you and says, "A temporary stay of execution." And Landon just goes, "Oh, okay." As he just gets up, you can tell that he was super panicked. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, this is good for now." And he just sort of walks over to you, and he says, "Are we dismissed, Prince?" The other members of the council just sort of nod, and she goes, "Yes, that is a temporary stay of execution. Masquerade is important to uphold, Landon. Be sure to be more careful in the future if you have one." And he just nods and he's like, Yeah, I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of my life. As he just walks out of the room into the party, dragging you with him.
I was gonna say something before he would take me. I was gonna say,
if you wanted to say something, he'll stop and let you say something.
Okay, I was gonna say, hey, do you want my phone?
Oh, to Landon? Is that what you're...
No, I was gonna say it to the prince.
She goes, if you prove trustworthy with the masquerade, we will allow you to keep it. However, it is our policy to take it from our fledglings in case they panic. As she looks towards Landon again. And he just sort of goes, yep, enjoying the rest of my life. As he walks out of the... he just walks out of the room.
You're so funny! I didn't even picture him as that.
Yeah, he's...
Okay.
It seems like the prince has a power over him that he's just like, no, I'm not going to mess with that anymore.
I'll just shrug and just follow him, I guess.
You see, if these people were wearing robes instead of, like, fancy suits or whatever it is that they're wearing in this room, you would be like, this is a cult. But, yeah, it seems like they're very archaic in the way that they conduct themselves.
Okay.
But, you leave the room, and there's a very elegant dinner party happening, except there is no feast or food. There's just glasses of a red liquid.
Yep.
And you even see, like, these super ugly dudes, like the guy I described before with the weird curved fish-like teeth coming out of his mouth. He's, like, just having a normal conversation with somebody, and he just opens his teeth wide enough for the glass to fit through, and he's just having a grand old time. It's like, this is normal. This is a place where these people can meet.
Okay. Awesome.
So you can go around and meet some people if you want. Eventually, the Primaging Council does filter back into the room.
Okay.
So if you want to meet any of them...
I was gonna, keep to myself.
Okay.
Because I am a lunar.
Okay. That's fine.
If that's okay with you.
You do see the Arabic guy approach you again, and he says, I haven't been ordered to execute you. So that's a good sign.
I'm gonna say I fixed it. I actually wanted to do this.
And he goes, promising.
I'm gonna say I love it. I really wanted to do this. And I've always wanted to be a vampire. I didn't know they were real.
He goes, oh. So, and then he turns to Landon, who is standing next to you at this point. The only reason he wasn't is because he fears the Primaging Council and the Prince, apparently. So that's why he was in such a hurry to, just get inside.
Right.
But he's standing next to you at this point.
Okay.
And he the Arabic-looking dude just sort of turns towards Landon, and he goes, so this is your type. And Landon just sort of looks at him, as if he's been emasculated.
Oh, God.
He's just no. He's just, looking down, embarrassed.
Oh, God. Poor Landon.
And this dude, this Arabic guy, just looks at you. And he he goes, perhaps you'll be even more promising than Landon.
I'm going to shake his hand and I'm going to be like, nice to meet you.
And he goes, yes, I have your name. You deserve mine for standing up to the council in such a way. My name is Qatar.
Nice to meet you, Qatar. I didn't mean any, harm by standing up to them. I just don't believe in killing people or vampires or anybody thing. For me, I don't believe in that unless it's a bug, and then I'll run.
He just smiles a little bit. Perhaps we will need to get to know each other later, though.
Of course.
And he nods towards you, and he looks at Landon and he says, I'm sure the council has emasculated you enough, but do try to be more careful in the future. And he just sort of bows towards you, Renee.
Okay.
And then he just sort of wanders off to the next person in the party, although he seems like he's slightly not appreciated by the people around him. And Landon goes, you know, he's one of us. One of our clan.
I'm going to nod to him, and I'm going to be like, and what is our clan?
We call ourselves the Torador.
And I'm going to just nod and be like...
The name was come up with after the First Inquisition.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite a while ago. We're a group of vampires who appreciate the finer things in life. Sometimes a little bit too much. We also have powers, which you saw me demonstrate. At least one of them. So he goes on to describe the powers. We'll just do that out of character.
Yeah.
So, clarity is your ability to slow down time. That's how he ran so quickly. That's why he appeared to be moving like the Flash. He just, like, sped up his perception of time and was able to move quicker. Which is how he so quickly moved around. It's an ability called clarity.
I didn't know that.
You have that ability. You have 1 point in it.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, I didn't know it, like, in real life. But, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's how it works.
Okay.
He also says that your clan also has the ability to manipulate crowds, to turn them onto your side and whatnot. It's an ability called presence. You have that on your sheet.
Yes.
And you have 1 dot in that.
Yes, I know what that one is.
Yep. And he says that you also have the ability to sense supernatural things. He says that there's another clan here called the Tremere that uses magic. They have a representative in the council and stuff who you could approach, who is here because the council needed to be gathered if you wanted to talk to them. They have the ability to cast spells and use not only blood magic, but other types of magic which apparently exist. He says that they have very specific rituals, and the reason why you probably never found anything that worked is simply because vampires, since the Masquerade came into existence, have been putting out propaganda, so there are vampires who write fake books about magic and put fake rituals in them, so that way people are like, yeah, this shit doesn't work. So, yeah. That's what they do. And they keep the real stuff hidden in libraries.
Okay.
Libraries that, from the exterior, look like anybody can visit, but only certain people can go in. Yeah. So, he says that you can sense when somebody's using rituals and things of that nature. It depends on how powerful you are at using your abilities. Which, right now, he just tells you, we'll say that later on, like, you have a couple years that you spend with Landon. Before something else happens. At certain points he tests your abilities, and apparently you only have the first category in each of your clan's disciplines, which is what you have on your sheet.
Okay.
So in the book, are all the powers are listed. So before the game starts, you might want to look at those because you have all the powers for the ones that you have dots in. So for Auspex, you have the first power, and for Clarity, you have the first power, and for Presence, you have the first power. If you increase those disciplines, you get more powers. It's pretty straightforward in that way.
You told me about that. Yeah, I think I looked at it a little bit. Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
And one of the things that I allowed you to do, the reason I would have normally made you roll to see if like your police friend survives, but you actually have like the allies and contacts background. So she is one of your allies. But if you want her to be able to like manipulate things in the police thing, you might want to have her as a contact instead.
I would like to have her as a contact.
Okay. So she can like, you can approach her for like, if you need evidence cleaned up, or if you need anything to do with the police force, you can like, she can like worm her way in and like get rid of those things if need be. Like, you have the ability to like convince people. You're super charismatic, so even if she didn't want to originally, she would maybe, depending on your role. But yeah, so that's one of your contacts, and I'm gonna take the liberty in saying that you can approach your boss because you did pretty good work at the paper. And yeah, I'm actually going to have to change the name of the paper now to something in New York. But that's okay.
Okay, sorry.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay. That's what it was. I'm sorry.
I'll say New York Times. That'll work.
Okay, New York Times. That's what I wanted. New York Times bestseller, to be honest.
Okay. Yep. So you work at the New York Times. You have a superior. He's an editor at the New York Times. So he's your other contact. So you can turn to him if like you need propaganda posted. You can try to get fake stories posted, that sort of thing, or anything that you can get done using a newspaper contact. So he'll help you out with that. So those are your two contacts. And for allies, I'm pretty sure allies are vampires.
I thought it was people I could drink from, allies.
No, that's your herd.
Okay, sorry.
You also have a herd, which is like 7 people.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
I remember the 7 people.
Yeah. So those are some of your fans. Actually, since you said you wanted to turn into a vampire, I'll say that you were part of like a club of people who are like, I don't want to disparage anybody, but you know how furries, they like feel like they're part of a like
a club gang thing.
They're part of like a club that believes that they have like a spiritual connection with an animal, sort of thing. Although some of them do use it for like sex purposes, but not all of them.
Oh Lord. Okay. TMI. Okay.
But anyway, yeah, you were part of a group that has this like camaraderie with in regards to like fetishizing vampires. So like not like necessarily sexualizing them, but like being fans of the idea of being a vampire. And you know that there's a certain portion of that group who actually every once in a while has people drink their blood.
All right.
That sort of thing. Or drink other people's blood, which they're willing to allow you to feed from them, if you so wish.
Okay.
So
I want to, like, before I do, like, if I do get hungry, I want to, like, ask before I do it. Like, ask the prince or whatever.
Yeah. The prince is okay with it. Like, some of these organizations actually have secret members who are actually vampires.
Okay.
Because they infiltrate these groups, like Facebook groups or whatnot, to find easy prey. So that way they don't have to go around hunting on the streets and potentially getting caught. So
right.
She actually greatly approves of this. This is an easy way to uphold the masquerade. So that way real vampires don't get found out. Because then you can just pretend like you're a fake vampire who pretends to drink a bunch of blood, but you actually are taking more than what the person who is probably used to doing it is saying. Like, so, like, normally they might just, like, bite somebody a little bit too hard, draw a little bit of blood, and, like, drink it or whatever. But you're like...
Been there, done that, but I don't bite. Like, okay, I don't drink the blood, but I bite.
Okay, fair enough. But, yeah, these people would allow you to bite them. And since you're a vampire, and most vampire clans create an ecstasy feeling when you bite somebody, yeah, they're going to get addicted to you biting them. So, they're going to be more than willing participate.
Okay.
Even if they feel a little bit weak afterward, like, as if they, like, been drained of blood, because they have been, they'll be addicted to the feeling that they get via the kiss, which is the term for biting and drinking. Right. So, yeah. That works out super well. So, I'm going to look up allies, just to make sure.
Alright.
What they do.
Sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah, that's okay. We should be almost done, because we're doing the skip ahead part, and then we're going to get to the part where the event happens where the group meeting ends up.
Awesome.
Okay. So, allies. You have 2 dots in allies? Yep, you have 2 allies of moderate power.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that means. Are they vampires? Allies are mortals who support and help you. Family, friends, or even a mortal organization that owes you some loyalty. Okay, so you have 2 allies. Maybe the contacts thing is different, so I'm just going to check that. Because I thought that's what the contacts thing was. No, the contacts thing is the okay, so this is like a thing that can give you information. So that's fine. Whereas allies tends to be allies are typically persons of influence and power in your city. They can be almost any sort. How about I just combine them? You can use your allies to, like, influence things, but you can also use them as contacts to get information. That'll make it easier.
Yeah.
So, like, you can go to the editor guy, and he might be able to, like, get investigative reporters to find information for you. Same with the police contact. She can, like, get investigators to look into things for you. But they can both also do things for you that are helpful. Like getting things to go away. That sort of thing. So, combining makes it easier. Don't have to come up with other random things. Yep, so your herd and your other things are built in. So the only other thing that your character would need to discover...
Sorry.
Okay, so, as you're getting used to this group, since the only other vampire you've really introduced yourself to is Qatar. I
was thinking, like, throughout the years, I could, like, meet one by one.
Okay, you can meet some of the others. I'll get you some information on them later. But just so that way, because I don't have a lot more time to keep doing this right now.
Yeah.
So, later I'll get you that information. But, the big thing is going to be that Qatar is going to recruit you to help. Because there are some Sabbat who are attempting to, like, fight to take over the city. And you help out with that. Oh, and another thing. Apparently there are some anarchs that are causing trouble. And you remember that bar that you went to see that band at? And I said that dark-skinned guy who looks kind of like a pimp mixed with a biker dude?
Yeah.
Turns out he's a high-ranking member of the Anarchs. So, yeah, the Anarchs are... The Sabbat turn more to the bad, and the Camarilla turn more towards the good, whereas the Anarchs are kind of in between. They just do whatever they feel like. They don't try to apply to the rules of the Camarilla, nor do they want to, like, destroy everything like the Sabbat sometimes does.
Right.
So they're kind of in the middle, but they don't adhere to the rules as a hard and fast thing. They do see the value of having a form of masquerade, so that way they don't get hunted, but they don't agree with all the masquerade rules, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a big anarch guy, and you see him every once in a while as there's some troublemakers, like, harassing people on other people's domains that they shouldn't be, and he's just sort of like a dude who you see every once in a while that is, like, not actively participating, but just sort of, like, standing in the background, watching what's going on. And then you lock eyes with him, and then when he does lock eyes with you, then he just sort of, like, skulks into the background, sort of thing.
Okay.
He doesn't really take an active role, at least yet.
Okay. Yeah.
And it also seems like he's not the one giving the orders, he's just trying to see how things are panning out, at least. It seems like there's another guy, he's called the Baron. He does have an official name, but I'll get you that later.
Okay. Sounds good. This all sounds great.
Yep, so, we're gonna skip to the major event. So it is now 2012.
Oh gosh, okay.
And, you're just sort of hanging out at the Elysium one night, getting to know a few of the Primogen a little better, when suddenly, because Landon isn't there, because he's giving you a little bit more freedom, even though you have a definite attraction to him, because he's your sire, so you have, like, a bit of a blood bond there. He lets you, like, do other things, like, you don't have to be around him all the time. So you're hanging out there, he wasn't there, but he, like, stumbles into the Elysium, the art gallery, and, he is, like, covered in, like, blade wounds and, like, bullet holes.
Oh god.
And he just sort of, like, falls on the ground in front of everybody. And everybody's just sort of like, it's like if you're at, like, a rich person's party and you just see, like, a dude who looks like he's about to die stumble into the middle. Everyone's just like, what is going on?
Okay.
So Landon is on the floor, bloodied.
I'm going to run to him.
Alright. You go over to him. His vampire blood is healing some of the wounds, but you have a feeling that he's going to need to drink more blood and soon. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to heal himself fully. And he just looks up at you and he goes, I'm sorry, but I had to warn everyone. As he looks at even some of the Primogen Council members, some other people who were just gathering at the Elysium in this night. And he just looks at you directly in the eyes, and he says, the Second Inquisition is coming.
The what? For us. What's an Inquisition?
Okay. So, the First Inquisition was an ancient event in reality where a bunch of religious zealots sort of went around converting people by the sword to Christianity.
Oh, okay.
But in this universe, the Inquisition was not that exactly. It was a hunt for monsters such as vampires.
Oh, okay.
So in this universe, the First Inquisition was when the Masquerade came into existence to make it so that way, vampires aren't a real thing anymore, and it sort of got forgotten from the public memory, basically.
Yeah.
But it seems like, and you've been around for a couple years, so you've heard a couple people talking about these ghost stories of the Second Inquisition, which is this Illuminati-type group, if you're familiar with that.
Illuminati. I've done some research on it, like aliens and stuff like that, yeah.
The point that I'm trying to get there with that is, they're kind of like a group that it has infiltrated a bunch of different governmental groups and things of that nature. And they speak of it like a ghost story, like a boogeyman almost. Like, the Second Inquisition is going to come if you're not careful. That sort of thing. Like, they're basically hunters. Vampire hunters. Except they are much more well-connected, and at least according to the legends, or at least the myths that these other vampires are telling you. And they're super well-connected, and they've been infiltrating vampire society for a while, like going on their websites, things of that nature, but there's been no proof of it so far. But Landon is serious that the Second Inquisition is the people who just attacked him.
Okay. And I'm gonna try to find him some blood, obviously. I'm gonna go get him
a bunch of people are like holding those fancy wine glasses filled with blood. Like a couple of them just rush over and just start feeding him. So he's gonna heal. But
okay, good.
But he seems to have some urgency in his voice, as if they're like headed this way sort of urgency. And he goes, I'm sorry for leading them to Elysium, but I had to warn everyone.
I'm gonna say, what do you mean? What can I do to help?
So he goes on to describe that they're driving around in black vans with white crosses painted on the side. Okay. And they're just sort of like hopping out of these vans and just attacking people. And it seems like they know the difference between innocent humans, or at least what they describe as innocent humans, like, because they're human, they're innocent, and vampires. They're, like, just attacking vampires and avoiding the humans.
Okay.
Somehow they can tell what's a vampire and what's not. And
so they must be vampires themselves.
Perhaps, but he doesn't know, because they're wearing this huge body armor that has, like, you know, like police wear those Kevlar vests. It's like they're wearing an entire suit that's made of that, and they have these weird spherical helmets.
Okay.
So they don't look like they're part of a government agency at all. They're like super sketchy and just like attacking vampires exclusively. If they see a human, they'll like get them out of the way. Like it seems like they're in a terrorist situation and they know who the terrorists are and they're trying to get the innocent people out is what it looks like they're trying to do, but the vampires aren't like attacking them or anything. They're just going out of their way to attack these vampires and get the regular people out of the way.
Okay, I got a question.
Okay.
Since they're attacking people, I forgot my question. Okay, this is bad. So do I know the boys / Lonnie at this time?
No.
No?
No, because Olaf's character is part of the Sabbat, which is your enemy.
Oh, great.
What's his name? I'm blanking. Giovanni. His character lives in a different city, but he's part of the Camarilla. But he lives in a different city, and you're not really familiar with them.
Okay.
And the Giovanni guy, he lives in another separate city from those two. And he's part of the Giovanni, which is a secretive group that's kind of like the Mafia.
Okay.
So, yeah, and they can raise the dead and stuff like that. So you don't know these guys. They're in different cities. They're part of different sects, except for Gio's character, who's part of the Camarilla. But he lives in a different city, and you haven't really left New York.
Okay.
After becoming a vampire. So you don't
know. Nope. Okay. Okay. If you don't care, I'm getting really tired. I might have to stop here. Do you have time to do it about this time tomorrow? Or will you be at work?
Unfortunately, no, but it's almost finished. If you don't want to like make rolls to see if you can get out of an impossible situation, that sort of thing, I can speed things up if you'd like.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So here's what's going to happen. I'll get you to make a choice. Do you want to go out into the outside of Elysium and try to stop these people? Or do you want to hide in Elysium with the rest of the Primogen Council and whatnot?
I'm going to stop them. I'm going to try to stop them.
Alright, you rush out. Nobody else follows you, except Qatar.
Okay.
He takes out this curved Arabic scimitar that he's kept. It looks more decorative, but it's got a sharp edge, and he's used it before, and it works. He uses it for like executions and stuff, and it works fairly well. So he follows you with his intricately decorative sword. It's a curved blade. I'm not sure if you know what a scimitar is.
Yeah, you may have to like send me a picture to remind me. I've heard of it.
In D&D they use them, but
that's probably where I've heard it from.
Looks similar to this, except more decorative.
Okay.
That's the word I was looking for. This is quite plain compared to his particular sword. Boop. Whoops. Wrong thing.
You're fine. Take your time.
There you go.
Okay. Let me see. Let's see.
Looks very similar to that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just like a sword.
Yep.
Thought it was.
It's slightly curved at the end, which is what makes it different from other swords.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So he's got that in its sheath, which is like a little... It's kind of like a gun holster for a sword.
Okay.
And he's got it in his sheath, and he's following you. And he's like, I know you're not the best fighter, but we do need to defend Elysium.
I want to say, I'm I'm not the best fighter, but I'm gonna do what it takes.
Alright. So he leads you out of Elysium, and he goes outside the art gallery, which is Elysium. And you see two black vans just suddenly pull up as you walk out. They both have white crosses painted onto them. And heavily armed dudes, like, one has, one of them has, like, a grenade launcher in his hands, and they all point their weapons at you as you begin to exit Elysium.
I think I have something. Let me see it. Firearms! I have 2 dots.
Okay, so you know how to use a gun. So you have like a self-defense pistol on your person. So you have
Yes, I was thinking like one of those oh god, what are they called? It's a little pistol that you can just stick in your purse.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You have that. That's the thing I was describing. It's like a self-defense pistol sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have.
Some people nickname it like a lady pistol.
Okay,
it's super small. You can fit in your purse. Okay, you draw that. He draws his scimitar. Even though they have guns, he's like fearless in front of them, as he just has a sword. He brought a sword to a gunfight, but he's still ready to defend this place with his life if need be.
I want to say, "Come at us, bitches."
Okay, do you say that?
Yeah.
Okay. As you say that, you're just about to pull the trigger and shoot at one of the guys when they just pepper the front of Elysium, which is this art museum, just with bullets. You are impaled by like 10 bullets in the matter of a couple of seconds. Qatar is hit with bullets as well. He's just peppered. As you both fall to the ground.
Okay.
Not fatally injured, however. You can see that Qatar is like grunting as he's attempting to get back up. You can see that a dude is approaching you, and a dude is approaching him, and the dude that's approaching him, he just, even though he's like got shot like 15 times through his body, he just gets up and uses his sword, and he just like cleaves through that guy's neck, and his head just detaches from his body. And the guy who's approaching you, however, you're still slightly too weak. And he just draws this wooden implement. It's a stake. And he just walks forward and plunges it into your chest. And
jeez, thanks, you're killing me.
You're not
literally
dead. You're not dead.
Okay.
Wooden stakes in this universe don't kill you, they just stun you.
Okay.
So it seems like that was this particular guy's goal in the first place, is to stun people. However, as you're about to fade to black, you see this guy walk towards Qatar as he just cuts through this guy's abdomen, like halfway his sword gets stuck, and he just kicks him off, and he lays on the floor, bleeding, as they fire another volley towards the front of the art museum. He rushes inside and takes cover, and that is the last thing that you see.
Okay.
And that is where the campaign is going to pick up.
Yay!
And let me just encourage you. They had the same things happen to them. Like, they got into an impossible situation that they couldn't possibly dream to get out of, and they were captured. Just like you were.
Okay, I'm dead.
You're not
dead, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you've been seriously injured, and you've been put into torpor, which for vampires, torpor is just like a sleep that they can't wake out of without blood.
Okay.
So someone needs to feed you blood and remove the wooden stake, and then you'll wake up. That's the only way that you can wake up, and you would know that as a vampire.
Okay.
So as soon as that guy was walking over with the stake, you're like, yeah, he's going to capture me, and they're going to do something bad to me. And then he plunged it into your chest, and you're like, yeah, for sure, now it's going to happen. And you'll see what happens when we start.
Great.